All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Modern Visual Podcast Show. Joe Stevens, host, marketing MVP, all-round legend, preceded only by the boss man himself, Luke Truan.
How you going, guys?
All right, so we're back today, guys. We're going to hit you with another quick little episode, and we're going to talk about social media marketing in 2019. Luke is a big part of what we do here. Honestly, I can't even think about where to start with this topic because there's so many different platforms, so many different touch points for the consumer to represent, to see the representation of someone's brand. I guess we start with the OG platform, the Zuck, the Facebook. Maybe we start there.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook is obviously the behemoth platform that, is almost like the go-to, I'd say, for most businesses.
And I think it's when, say, a business comes to us, I think the first thing they think about when we're going to do a social media marketing package for them would be the Facebook.
Yep, no, exactly right.
So Facebook's gone through a big, I can't even begin to say how many changes over the years when it comes to paid advertising, how you get engagement, how you get exposure for your posts, and really making that algorithm particularly difficult to get it for free, especially. So if we were going to start right now, we've got someone coming to us for a consultation and, we're going to give them advice on how we're going to basically put them together a package for Facebook to market their business. Where do we start? And essentially, what are the key points they need to address?
Yeah, I mean, what we typically do is start with, even rewinding before social media, we want to learn a lot about their business to make sure we're prescribing the right solution. So, looking at who their ideal clients might be, the type of person they want to try and attract to the business, most profitable. Yep. We'll also look at what their brand looks like, what makes up their brand, what their actual business goals are, and why they do what they do on a daily basis. And that just allows us to then, as I mentioned earlier, prescribe that solution. So
I like that word, prescribe. It's like
I always say to my staff, you've got to be the doctor. You have to prescribe the solutions, be the professional, and be the doctor. Yeah. So. I think, Facebook is the most common platform from a social media point of view that you would go to. Obviously, in certain circumstances, depending on who that ideal client is trying to attract, they might not hang out on Facebook or, within the context of what they do from a business point of view or what you do from a business point of view.
Like they're active on Facebook, but not from a professional standpoint.
Yeah, because you want to try and capitalize on the platform that is most suitable. So Instagram, for a young fashion-based business might be the go-to, but predominantly, Facebook is the one for most businesses. So, from a package point of view or what we look for, again, just trying to work out what direction the client's trying to head and who they're trying to attract. Yep. And that's when,
And honestly, I think half the time the clientele don't even have the answers to those questions. And that's something we have to bring out of them and develop with them is saying, okay, because I think the misconception with Facebook, especially, you have a business owner come in and like, I've heard social media marketing is the way. Take my money for Facebook. Yep. And I'm just going to sit back and wait for the calls to come in.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, a lot of people, their neighbor will lean over the fence and say, oh my God, I'm now on Facebook. You have to be on there. Yeah. And they're in a completely different industry or business and they're trying to attract different types of people. So, I think it's all about, again, just choosing that right platform for you. And if you're going to do it yourself, obviously choosing something that you're good at as well, not just obviously because you have to. And obviously if you're getting it done professionally, then it shouldn't really matter. You do what's best for you, best for your business and who you're trying to attract.
I think what you talked about there was identifying, specific clientele, like who are you targeting, geographic, whether it's demographic, whatever it looks like. And then those particulars, like if you want to talk about paid ads, for us especially, like if a client doesn't come to us with a clear picture or if we need to help them develop that clear picture, it's really the only way to get a good ROI on your ad spend and where things are going as far as trying to generate more leads for that client.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Facebook asks you, who you're targeting. So, demographic might be age, gender, location, net worth, ethnicity, what are the motivations of that person? What are their challenges and what are they trying to face? So a lot of people almost skip that part and, hope for the best and cross their fingers when it comes to Facebook. And then they blame Facebook for not working when it's just more, what it does in the time frame around ROI. And yeah,
because it is a reasonably long-term investment as well, I think.
Yeah, and that's the mistake a lot of people make. They think it's an on-off switch, and they're used to traditional mass marketing media such as TV and radio and yellow pages and stuff like that. It's completely different now. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yellow pages are good for booster seats for your kid at the dinner table. But that's about it.
Yeah, it's a unique journey seeing every business come in and learning, first of all, what their business is about with us and who they're trying to target and what their market is. And some businesses have that, but a lot don't. And moving that then into trying to market Facebook is a journey in itself before we even launch the campaign.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, they're just trying to go straight in again for the kill and not wanting to do that groundwork first. And, Facebook and the algorithms are all about learning what's best, and you just have to let it run its course before you're going to get that return on investment. And it all depends on your industry as well, and that's going to obviously dictate how long before you do get that return.
So to finish Facebook up real quick, what would the tips you would be to give the listener that's got his own business, that's doing some dabbling with some Facebook marketing? Excuse me. What would you say to them as far as before they engage someone like us? What's the tips for them to get the most out of their campaigns before they would maybe try to step up to that professional level and come to us?
Yeah, I mean, first thing to say there is, if you're not a marketer, don't try and do your own social media. And that's not because we're trying to get business from you. It's simply the fact that, if you're not into marketing, you don't understand how it works, then, you're going to be pretty useless when it comes to Facebook. I mean, it's like a helicopter, trying to fly a helicopter when you're not a helicopter pilot. I mean, it is, obviously the risks aren't there, or they could be financial risks.
I'd say there's massive financial risks.
Yeah, that's right. And, the other thing I'd say is don't be impatient. It is something that takes time to build up, and it's not going to be an on-off switch like I mentioned earlier. It does take time to, get ROI. And, if it was a magic pill, then, everybody would be very well off thanks to Facebook, but they're not. Yeah,
that's true. And I think probably my 2 cents on that from the marketing side of this business would be, I think that your average business owner, even if they're not in the position to come to a company like ours, would be, you need to understand the separation between your personal attachment to your brand and the perception of your brand to the public. And I think a lot of business owners, you see when they do their own marketing, they put stuff out they want the public to see, they think makes their business look cool, they're attached to. And in reality, that's not what the public's in the market for. That's not what the public's buying your product for. And sometimes it's hard to have that separation when you're in the day-to-day, and you need to understand that as a brand, because we have brands come to us and I literally say to you or to them, I'm like, look, I have nothing to sell. Like, we don't have a brand that people are interested in. And they'll say, no, we do, we got this, we got that. But I'm like, that's not what your customer's in the market for. And having that understanding is sometimes it's tough to have when you're in it so much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, the marketing's for the ideal client. It's not for you.
Yeah.
Not for you or your friends or family. You're trying to attract people to your business that are quite profitable. And that means actually discovering what their needs are and what their challenges are as a person, and being able to say we're the solution to your problems in a fun and engaging way through social media.
That's it. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Engagement is what it's all about now, because with Facebook, let's finish Facebook on this point. But, if you're running a business page or a personal brand page, athlete page, whatever you want to call it, you are not getting engagement and exposure unless you're putting out high quality content that's engaging, or you're paying. That's the only 2 ways that page is getting seen.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, since the start of 2018, Facebook basically flicked the switch around, prioritizing friends, family, and community over businesses. So businesses were getting a lot of free exposure prior to 2018.
I like the way they did that too. Like, no, we're going to give you more of what you used to have.
Yeah.
But most of you got a business page, so you're going to pay for that now.
Yeah, so there's less real estate now that you can purchase on that news feed because of that change. So if you do want to get seen and get out to the customers that you're trying to attract, then unfortunately, you do have to pay. And never really before in history has there been such a free, effective medium. So obviously it was inevitable that they were eventually, as a business, going to make that decision to charge.
Yeah, they were going to monetize it. It was coming. I think people were naive to think it wasn't. But I mean, you think about Facebook coming out in 06, 07. We had a long run of that platform developing before they hit us with the financial implications of it. I think, actually, I'll do one more point before we move on from Facebook. So, again, we have like businesses come to us, and some of them somehow, if they're a startup, they don't even have a Facebook page yet. you do a startup page for them. But again, trying to explain to the public that are watching this or listening to this, that, hey, if you're starting up a Facebook page right now, you're not going to have 10,000 likes in 2 weeks. It doesn't work like that anymore. You're not going to have hundreds of comments, hundreds of likes on your pictures and your content. It's a slow build now. It's a very slow burn unless you want to invest thousands and thousands of dollars. And even then, you've got to be very specific that you're not attracting just people to follow it, just likes. It's got to be, engagement from an actual customer base that's going to purchase from you.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, you need a number of likes for credibility's sake, but with targeting, it's not really about how many likes you have, because most people that like your page won't potentially see your posts or your ads. Because you do target people specifically, the amount of likes don't really mean much at all.
It's not like it used to be a currency, but it's kind of dissolving pretty quick.
Yeah, they've obviously made changes over time, and as Joe was sort of saying, it is a long-term investment, and if you're going for quick wins, even within a 6 or 12 month time frame, it's not really for you. Yes, you can run ads on their own, but again, even that takes time to get right and to tweak the algorithm and the performance and the metrics of what we're doing. So yeah, if you are getting into social media, stick with it. Don't just think it's going to be an overnight sort of
success
game changer for your business, because it's not. It's just it's another tool in your belt for growing your business, and every tool has its own sort of unique reason to be there.
It does, and I think that's something that we're going to address. There's a few different pods I want to do with this, and we'll illustrate to you guys how to construct a Facebook marketing campaign, which I think will be great for you guys that are watching at home. But also I want to do an overall sort of marketing blueprint of how, you've got your sales systems, you've got your website, you've got your social media marketing campaign, you've got your AdWords, you've got your SEO. Like, there's so many different avenues to create a holistic marketing campaign for your business that, like you said, or like we just said a few times, people just think, oh, take my money for Facebook, it's going to blow my business up. It's like, man, there's so many different ways that you need to approach this, and so many different touch points that you have nowadays through these things right here.
Yep.
But that's more stuff we're going to put out. So, all right, Zuckerberg's done, or I guess Instagram will be next.
Yeah, definitely. So Instagram's obviously different to Facebook. Instagram is very much a visual sort of platform where people go there to see high quality, inspiring imagery. And again, that's a little bit of a mistake people make. They'll reshare a post from Facebook to Instagram, etc., when people are probably seeing their content twice. So Facebook, people don't go on Facebook just to see high quality images. Whereas obviously they go on Instagram mainly for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's funny, even though they're both an entertainment social media platform, the split in content of recent years has been quite obvious where those platforms are going.
Yeah, exactly. And, Instagram utilizes hashtags in a big way as well, whereas Facebook, some people like to flood their Facebook posts with a number of hashtags. Yeah, it looks a bit silly. No one uses hashtags on Facebook.
It just looks like grandma's hashtag and mashing on the keypad. So let's talk about Instagram, right? So if we had a few tips we could give to the listeners and the viewers right now that, I hope you're not launching an Instagram page in 2019, because that is a tough uphill battle you're going to face to get seen, to get followers, to get engagement. But hey, if you are, hit us up. We'll help you out. But, you've got an established page, doing okay engagement, is representing your brand. Let's say you do have a sales system. So let's say you are, doing e-com, you are doing a fashion brand or something like that. What advice can we give Joe, the consumer that's got his Instagram page, he's got his little e-com store? Where does he go from here to grow his leads, landing on his website, to grow his sales? What does he need to do through Instagram to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is put some rules in place around the type of content you're going to be posting. So just make sure that every single post is within an overall strategy. You're not posting for the sake of posting.
Yep.
Second thing would be every image has to be high quality, intent based. What is the reason I'm posting this image?
Yep.
Instagram as well now has shopping built in, so you can tag your images with particular links to your shopping. People can obviously even check out through Instagram as well. So it's moving in a big way. It's going to be potentially the new e-commerce platform where you're buying straight from Instagram.
Yep.
Hashtags are obviously a big deal as well. A lot of people don't really understand them or how they should use them.
Especially trying to grow a following, it's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly how people find you through Instagram. Instagram is through your hashtags, and even getting a little bit local is sometimes a good start if you're a local business. So, we're obviously, in the southeast on the Mornington Peninsula. So even using, hashtags like the Ninch as an example, a well-known hashtag, just to get found. This is all about awareness at the start and just getting your name out there to as many people as you can to begin with, and that's where using the right hashtags is a big help.
Yeah, I believe so too, and I think that's a big thing you just talked about with, say, the ability for Instagram to have e-com shopping through the platform now, because previously, we'd advise that a lot of companies or businesses or sole traders, entrepreneurs, whatever, they go on these, what I call, because I've done it myself with my own brand, you go content rampage. You just start blasting stuff out every day. And it's like people are like, oh, cool, liking it. Yeah, sweet. But there's no direction. Okay, well, where do I go from this post to purchase your product? And I think now the shopping features in Instagram, that's a big thing. But before that, if you didn't... if you didn't have that ability to embed your message or embed your offer in the post, which a lot of people struggle with, it's like, great, you're putting out content, you're paying for all this production, but what's it actually doing?
Yeah, I mean, they also have obviously the link in your bio, so that's something that's a little bit annoying, having to put a link, to be clicked. I mean,
people are lazy; they don't want to look for that stuff.
Yeah, exactly right. I think a big change came with Instagram stories around, being able to learn more or swipe up, and that's something that changed the game as well.
It was a big. Again, just different avenue. When you think about the app itself, and you've got posts, you've got stories, and now you've got the ability to shop through the post, and you've got the ability to swipe up and shop through the story. Just as an example for ecom, but there's so many different applications for different businesses through that app. Some we'll talk about in more detail, I think, in another pod as far as getting specific, but we're just getting warmed up with these. We don't want to keep them too long.
Yeah.
And I think I'd say Facebook and Instagram, we'll leave that there because you've got Twitter, you've got your other social media platforms, which they have a certain relevance to a specific, I'd say in Australia, Twitter in America is a different story.
Yep.
Twitter in Australia, I don't know how the application resonates to the average business or the average consumer. It's more of a celebrity platform, I feel, in this country. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically in decline, Twitter. And we look at all the statistics on a regular basis, and it's more for personalities and politicians and people to have a status update on what they're sort of doing.
Yeah,
it's not something we do a lot of, and again, it's all about capitalizing on the platforms that are going to give you the most return. So for us, it's almost a bit of a back burner sort of platform.
It would be there for the right client, but I think you're right, and I think in America it's a little bit different because you've got the Hollywood celebrity. What's the word I'm looking for there? Celebrity culture, where everyone wants to follow what everyone's doing over there. But over here is a little different. But we'll probably come back with another episode about different the other social media channels because there are a lot of different platforms out there, and we'll give you guys some advice on those as well.